Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Welcome to this second video of learning Arabic from scratch. In the previous video we have seen the first three letters in Arabic. Let's go through them quickly. The first letter was the Alif letter, and we saw how the letter is written when it comes at the beginning of the word or at the end of the word. And we explained the difference between writing Arabic and writing English. The second letter is Ba, which gives us the B sound, ba, ba, and we saw some examples of how the letter is written in the beginning, in the middle, at the end. And the third letter is ta, which gives us the T sound. Now, I recommend everyone who hadn't watched the first video to go back and watch it, and then come back and watch this one. Now we will continue with the fourth letter in Arabic, which is the Tha letter. Tha. We don't have a similar letter in English, but we have the sound Tha, Tha, which is used for an example of this is the word three. Three, number three. This sound, Tha, Tha. So the letter Tha looks exactly like the letter Ba and Ta. The differences is in the dots. The letter Tha is characterized by 3 dots above. Remember, the Ba is characterized by 1 dot below. The Ta is characterized by 2 dots above. And now we have the Tha, which is characterized by 3 dots above. In the beginning, it looks this way. An example is Thalab. Thalab, which means fox. Thalab. Thalab. In the middle, it looks like this one. An example is Muthanna. Muthanna, which means 2. And at the end, it looks in this way. An example is Makatha. Makatha. Makatha, which means stay. He stayed. Makatha. The next letter is Jim. Jim, which gives us the J sound. Ja, ja, ja. This is how the word Jim looks like in the beginning, in the middle, and at the end of the word. Now remember, the letter Jim is characterized by 1 dot below, because we will see other 2 similar letters. The shape is the same, but the position of the dots is different. So the letter Jim is characterized by a dot below. An example is the word Jamal. Jamal. Jamal, which means camel. Oh, sorry, I will correct this one. It's Jamal. Jamal. This is how it looks in the beginning. In the middle, it looks like this one. It's connected from like before and after. It could be connected by a letter before it and a letter after. And if you go to the first video, you will understand what we are talking about here. And this will be explained later in details. So don't worry about it. What we want to do now is to understand all the alphabets, how they look like, and what's the sound of the letter. So an example of the letter Jim in the middle is the word Yajuz. Yajuz. Yajuz, which means it's allowed. It's basically like halal. Yajuz. And at the end, it looks like this. An example is Muhtaj. Muhtaj. This is referring to someone who is poor, who needs money, someone who is in need. Muhtaj. Now we go to the next letter, which is the letter Ha. Now, remember, this letter doesn't exist in the English language. This sound is not there in the English language. The closest one is Ha, Ha, Ha. For example, Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, they say Muhammad, Muhammad. So this letter will require more practice from you in order to be able to pronounce it correctly. Ha, Ha. Inshallah, in the future there will be there'll be videos to explain to you how to pronounce this letter correctly. For now, try to practice. It's ha. It's not ha. 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 And this letter looks exactly like the Jim. Let's go back to the Jim letter. This is the one we've just studied, the Jim letter. You remember, it has a dot below. The ha doesn't have any dot. There's no dot in the ha. It's the same, it's the shape of the Jim, but without any dot. So this is how it looks in the beginning of the word. Example is the word halal. Halal. You know, halal meat. Halal. Halal. In the middle, it looks this way. An example is the word yahil. Yahil, which means it becomes halal. It's a verb. Yahil. It becomes halal. At the end, it looks this way. An example is the word subh. Subh, which means morning. Subh. Let's go to the next one. The next one is the letter kha. Again, this letter does not exist in English, and the sound also does not exist in English. The closest one is the sound which comes from the two alphabets K and H. K and H. So for example, Khalid, they say Khalid. Khalid. So this letter will require more practice also, because you know English speaking people will have difficulties pronounce it, but with practice inshallah things will get better. So let's see the example of the letter kha. Sorry, this is also again kha. Oops. Kha. And this is also kha. This is also kha. So the letter kha is characterized by a dot above. Remember, let's go through them again. The Jim has one dot below. The ha has no dot at all. The kha has one dot above. So when you have one dot above, that's the letter kha. Let's take an example. At the beginning of the sentence, this is how it looks. An example is Khalid. Khalid. In English, Khalid. In the middle, it's Nakhla. An example is Nakhla, which means palm. Yes, palm. A kind of tree. Palm, which gives us dates. At the end, it's Mukh. Mukh, which means brain. Mukh. Let's go to the next one. The next one is the letter dal. Dal, which gives us the D sound. Da, 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 dal. At the beginning, the letter dal looks this way. An example is dalil. Dalil, which means evidence. Dalil. In the middle and at the end, it looks the same. You see the letter dal at the end and in the middle, it looks the same, because the letter dal, you know, there you cannot connect a letter after the letter dal. You can connect before it. You see here? So there can be a letter connected to the dal before the dal, but after the dal, it cannot be connected. So an example is the word Medina. Medina. This is how the dal comes in the middle. You see, it's not connected to the letter after it. Medina, which means city. At the end, and the example is Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Muhammad. The next letter will look similar to the dal. The difference is it has one dot above. One dot above. This is the dhal. Dhal. The. We don't have this letter in English, but we have the sound. The example is the article the. That's the sound of the dhal letter. So in the beginning, it looks like this. An example is the word dhanb, which means sin. in the middle and at the end they look the same. For an example of the letter dal, in the middle is تذكر, تذكر, which means remember. And this is the example of the letter dal when it comes at the end of the word. منذ, 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 which means since, since. منذ. The letter dal is just like the letter dal. You can connect letters before it, but you cannot connect letters after it. And we will stop here, inshallah. In the coming videos, we will carry on with the Arabic alphabet. For time being, try to study, try to practice the sounds of the letters that we have taken so far. And inshallah, in future videos, we will take the next letters and then we will start reading. We'll start teaching you how to read using what you have learned already about the sounds of the letter. So try to practice the letters that we have studied so far, and inshallah this course will be beneficial to you. Please, if you like the video, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification button and like the video so that other people may benefit from it. جزاكم الله خيرا والسلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.